a very strange and surreal experience. The nature of time and reality was bending quite often within the piece, which I thought was the intent. I think those very interesting constructs. The boat I thought was interesting set piece, and the earlier vibe of the piece interspersed with the manic episode she's having, or the maybe just the mental health episode that's being restrained upon her. And those sequences I thought were very stark and a reflection of the emotional range and throughout the piece is sort of a meditation on life and death and love. And I thought that there was a sort of interesting ideas about loops of time and sort of trying to get things right. And I think the ideas around Grace in particular had some interesting sort of allegorical or metaphorical components to it, despite the lack of a clear narrative intent in certain aspects of the story. I thought there was a lot of thematic ideas that made sense and overlapped well, given especially the short runtime of the piece in terms of just having it be a sort of meditative experience that you just go on with the characters. So I thought it was well done in those aspects.
Absolutely stunning. It was amazing. I really liked the camera work and the cinematography. I specifically really liked the long takes in the beginning of the film. I thought it was so beautiful, and the choreography of it all was really stunning. I really also liked the score. I feel like it very much added to giving the film a sci-fi feel, a dystopian feel, and I thought that was really, really cool. It was kind of like, it felt like a Black Mirror episode, like Handmaid's Tale mixed with Black Mirror, and I thought that was really, really cool. I also thought that the graphics were really cool with like the door opening and like the Lazarus device in her arm was really, really cool to see visually. And I thought the graphics for that were really great. And also just the premise of getting a second chance at life and the difficulty of that, even if it were something that happened more often than not, just kind of like this whole thing of a second chance, but not wanting to take the chance because what you've been living for is no longer here, but still having to learn to live for yourself. So I thought that was crazy. And I also really love the plot twist of her dropping both of them. I didn't think that's what happened. And she dropped both of them. And I was shook.
Really unique concept. I thought the music was nice and subtle. I like subtle music. The home inside the windmill was interesting. I was like, where are they living? This is almost like a boat. And then when she walked out, of course, and we saw the windmill, very interesting. Made me wonder, do people live in windmills? I'm just not aware of this. I thought the effects were really cool with the arm and the eyes. Just interesting, really creative idea. I like the, idea of a Lazarus device, the second chance. Just wow. At the end, I just felt like when we were revealed what happened, like, how do you live with that? How do you live with that scenario? Well done, though. Production wise, I thought the windmills were really cool. I thought all the effects were really neat. The guy showing up in like, what do you call that? I can't think of what it's called, but he comes in and he's in like the Star Wars thing. I can't think of what it's called, but that was really cool. And like I said, the effects with the arm and the eyes, I liked it a lot.
They refer to it as a Lazarus device, which is activated when the heart stops beating, which is sort of the afterlife insurance that gives you a second chance. What I was never able to fully grasp is where we are when it comes to this woman, because there's so many surrealistic elements in this piece. You're never really sure of what the true reality is and what is existing in her mind because of the state that she's been placed in. I think the only true reality that we saw was when she has her, freak out moment where she's given a new dose. I think that that's the reality. And we don't fully get a chance to see what that reality is, but we do know that it is heavily controlled and that the choice to have people heavily sedated is the priority. The scene when she chooses to save her husband or daughter is very emotionally charged. And we are left to wonder if this is a memory or if this is a memory that's brought on by the state that she's in.
It poses a very interesting question when it deals with a lot of those factors. Um, if you take your life with the notion that those you care about are no longer there, so what's the point? Does their legacy, does their memory leave along with you? Um, and it was also very interesting uh, that this device was essentially uh, a second chance in the sense that um, again, this is a very heavy topic, but when it comes to suicide, you know, when people go through that unfortunate end, posing the argument, what would you do if you did have the ability to try again, or if you had the ability to recontextualize why you're doing what you're doing? Uh, if any of that makes sense. But basically, uh, it forced our protagonist to bear the question, just because the people I love are gone, should I end myself to be with them, or should I live to further promote their legacy?
It's a really interesting concept to introduce, this kind of second chance, but second chance with, a message from a loved one to, try and inspire or, have that kind of last little impact on that person's life, which I think is like a really fascinating concept. And when you think about it from a standpoint of grief, such a double-edged sword, because seeing that person again, getting, this final sort of moment could trigger a relapse, could trigger some, negative emotions, or it could propel the person forward. So it's kind of this double-edged sword and this double-edged idea of this kind of like Lazarus second chance insurance policy. So I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really, really interesting and really tragic.